after about a month and a half of the waiver wire being dead at the running back position, all of a sudden, we got running backs to pick up due to injuries. Christian McCaffrey going down, Breece Hall going down. Now it's Kenneth Walker going down. And we got to look at Zach Charbonnet. And like we always do, we're going to do a deep dive to see whether or not you need him for fantasy football. We're going to go over the advanced analytics. We're going to go over the matchups. We're going to go over how he did in college even, so we can connect the dots on this player, because it is a deep dive, and you got to see how he can win on the field to see whether or not you need him. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're doing deep dives on the daily. Whenever news drops, we do a deep dive. Player getting hurt, climbing the depth chart, falling down the depth chart, getting traded, whatever happens, we do one of these so you can get that information, a perspective, so you can make a sound decision. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. And Kenneth Walker's out. Hot, live, off the press. Not able to play this week. So now a lot of people are excited about Zach Charbonnet. Some people are saying that he could be a top 10 running back. We're going to look at those numbers, and you decide for yourself whether or not you rank him in the top 10 for this week. It might be a little overzealous once you look at the full spectrum of running backs, but maybe possibly have the upside to hit for it. Zach Charbonnet has had some good moments this year. Couple RB1 weeks. He's had a couple good moments last year. Good at getting volume. Can give you some downturn weeks as well. Can really bust in your lineup. He can also hit in your lineup. He's one of those types of running backs. What I like about him, he's good at catching passes out of the backfield, but has the size to grind it between the tackles. He's a talented running back. On any other team, he would get more workload, but Kenneth Walker's so good, he can put a guy like Zach Charbonnet to the side a little bit, because when you look at what he did in college, you're seeing some good stuff. First freshman running back to rush for double-digit touchdowns at Michigan. We have an off year in 2020. We transfer to UCLA. We go off. The next year we go off too, but we come back that next year so we can improve in what we're doing in the receiving game. Up those numbers. He stated at 37 catches, 321 yards. 4.15 yards after contact per attempt. He's good in the open field when it comes to making guys miss. He's got good vision, but he does not have like that home run hitting speed. But he can get you yards in chunks, especially if there's a hole there, a lane for him to run through. He's a guy that's powerful, but yet nimble and quick. That being said, when you look at Zach Charbonnet, he's a jack of all trades running backs, because he's a bigger back that can catch the ball out of the backfield. You can use him on all three downs, and you're looking at him, runs a 4.53 40-yard dash at 214 pounds. We got good size on him, and we got a guy here that can hold down the workload when Kenneth Walker is away. He's that substitute teacher that won't just play the movie. He'll teach you a little something. That being said, we got 2 RB1 weeks on the season, 1 RB2 week. That's very good for a backup 1B running back. He's getting good work this year. 7.8 PPR points per game on his career. Last year, he had 2 RB2 weeks. That being said, when you look at this, you got a chance. You got a chance with Zach Charbonnet. You lose Kenneth Walker, you got a chance. You went ZRB, you've been plucking running backs up and down all year, and you just picked him up here a few minutes ago. You got a chance here. That's what he says. I can give you a chance. I might not hit. I might give you 5 fantasy points, but I'm going to give you a chance. That's what this is. I am likely to give you 1 or 2 things. A very good week in fantasy or a very, very bad one, but I'm going to give you a chance. That's what that chart says. You're looking at this. This is the Kenneth Walker show. 3.7 yards per carry for Kenneth Walker, but he's very explosive, can eat up yards in an instant. Zach Charbonnet, 3.5, 266 yards, but he can get those targets in the passing game, and this coaching staff is willing to dial it up so these running backs can get targets in the passing game. Kenneth Walker has been getting extra work in the passing game compared to previous seasons. That is something to pay attention to. My boy Kenny McIntosh. I'm going to throw that name out there. Very good running back prospect from Georgia. Has a lot of upside. They did not need to draft the running back when they drafted him late in the draft last year. However, he's good at catching the ball in the backfield, getting downfield. Sneaky surprise if he does something. Very sneaky. He will get a unique video if he does even just a little bit tomorrow. because he is a very sneaky player on this depth chart. But you're looking at the matchups. We're looking at the schedule because we do not know what this injury is going to be like for the long term, but we do have the Cardinals. The Cardinals are allowing fantasy points at an all right clip right now, about league average, 23.3 PPR points per game. And then you're looking at the schedule. It's okay. It's okay. You got a good run of games here. You got the Vikings in the fantasy playoffs. You got to worry about that. But Kenneth Walker might be back by then. But you've got some good matchups here. It's not like we're going against some of the top defenses, but we're also not going up against some of the worst defenses. So we got a chance. He's saying we got a chance. The matchup says we got a chance. His historic production saying we got a chance. Zach Charbonnet is giving you a chance, and you're looking at what these Cardinals do to running backs per week. They only got one bust week, and if you hold that threshold to under 10 PPR fantasy points, you got one bust week on the season. However, they don't break either, and it's been a while. They broke a few times. Devin Achane hit 26.7 on them. Jeremy McNichols got 20.4. Dave Montgomery, 21.2. Outside of that, and it's been a while since week 8, they ain't been breaking the running backs. Maybe you get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range. Maybe like 10 to 12. 10 to 12 is a good range in production for him. We got to cross the goal line. We got to rack up some targets. But he's giving you a chance here. We got an okay matchup. We're going to be getting the workload. We get work in the passing game. He's going to give you a chance. There's no guarantees. And when I look at the running back rankings at 4 for 4, it's not updated yet. And I'm not a part of these rankings. They're not mine. But like you should be doing, I go to other sources and I sharpen my knife against them to see what's up. And I look at Kenneth Walker. He had the injury tag, so they dropped him a bit, and he was ranked 19th. And when I pluck in Zach Charbonnet around that range, and I look things in ranges, I don't go 1 for 1. That's just how I play and how I do things. Charbonnet, around that 15 to 19 range, fits well. I think top 10 is kind of iffy. Like him versus a healthy Bucky Irving. Could you do that? Him versus Tony Pollard when you know he's got a good matchup. Him versus Chase Brown. Him and Rico Dowdle, I could see that. Him and James Conner. Kyren Williams, I know he's getting the touches. Kyren Williams, so safe. There's going to be some down games, but he's so safe because you know the workload's going to be there. Him versus Isaac Garando. I am very safe knowing he's going to get work in the passing game. I know he's very capable of getting you double-digit PPR fantasy scoring production. I don't know if Isaac Garando is going to hold it down, if they're going to give him a full workload. There's some questions with that. We've seen that with Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet is a guy you put in your lineup if you're hurting. If I'm good, if I got any of those top 10 guys, top 12, 13 or so, then you're probably not starting him at the running back spot. However, when you look at Zach Charbonnet versus some of these other running backs outside of this top 15 range, you got a coin flip here. Chuba Hubbard against the Eagles on the road. Chuba Hubbard, you may like the volume, the consistent production outside of last week a little bit better. Braylon Allen versus the Dolphins. That's a good push, but you know Zach Charbonnet is not going to be messed with. You know he's not on the Jets offense. You know he's going to get targets. And we already got him categorized for the week. He's going to give you a chance, and it's going to be boom or bust. That's what he's been like this whole year. Because over the course of his career, he has been boom or bust. He has been okay, though, holding it down. It's going to be boom bust. Because he does not have the upside to score from anywhere on the field, but he can rack up volume. And when you can rack up volume, you can rack up fantasy points. And that's huge for you in fantasy football. I don't think you need him if you can't stash him. I don't think you need to drop anything big time for him. But if you can stash him, if you feel like Kenneth Walker is going to be out for some time, you may want to look his way. And you need the touches, you got to get him. If you need touches at running back, bye weeks, injuries, whatever's happening, you got to get him right now. Don't even think twice. Just get him and put him in. He's giving you a chance. He's going to get enough workload to give you a chance. That's what everything just said. I'm not going to say he's going to hit. I'm not going to say he's not going to hit. I'm saying he's giving you enough where you got a chance. You got spitting distance at like 12 fantasy points out of this guy. You got spitting distance at that. That's the odds that's likely going to happen. If you simulated this matchup 100 times, if you really thought it through, you're probably going to be in that 12 fantasy point range. There are going to be some games in those 100 games. There's going to be like 5 or 6, and some like 20 to 25 due to scoring touchdowns, odds are you're probably going to be in that range. If that's what you want, if that's what you need, if you absolutely need that many fantasy points, or if you just need the touches in general, get it right now. It's going to help you. He's another stash play. And he's a stash play that will catch balls out of the backfield, get work, and can be productive. He has proven to do so. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Well, thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.